Solve the inequality 2x plus 3 divided by x minus 2 is less than 1 for x values elements of the real number set where x is not equal to 1. So what we're going to do is multiply both sides by x minus 1 squared, which we are sure is positive. This is because anything squared has to be positive, and because we're multiplying both sides by a positive, we don't need to flip the inequality. So we're going to have 2x plus 3 divided by x minus 1, and that's going to be multiplied by x minus 1 squared. Then we bring down our inequality sign, and then we have 1 multiplied by x minus 1 squared as well. So we're multiplying by x minus 1 squared because that's what the denominator is. So 2x plus 3 divided by x minus 1 multiplied by x minus 1 squared is going to give us 2x plus 3 over x minus 1 multiplied by x minus 1 times x minus 1 all over 1. And this is all less than 1 times x minus 1 squared, which is just going to be x minus 1 squared, because 1 times anything is itself. So we don't actually need to multiply out these brackets, because what we can do now is cancel out the x minus 1 as the denominator and the x minus 1 as the numerator, remembering to keep the other x minus 1 that we did not cancel out. So then we're going to do top by top, bottom by bottom. So 2x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 1 becomes 2x plus 3 times x minus 1. Bottom by bottom, this is cancelled out, so technically it's 1, and 1 times 1 is 1. So anything over 1 is just itself, so we just keep it as 2x plus 3 times x minus 1. We bring down our less than symbol, and x minus 1 squared. So next we're going to multiply out the brackets. 2x plus 3 times x minus 1 is 2x squared plus x minus 3. Bring down our less than symbol, and x minus 1 times x minus 1 is going to be x squared minus 2x plus 1. Then we bring everything over to one side, so bring down the 2x squared, the plus x, and the minus 3. The x squared comes over the inequality sign, becomes minus x squared. The minus 2x comes over, becomes plus 2x. The plus 1 comes over, becomes minus 1. And this is all less than 0. Then we simplify. 2x squared minus x squared is x squared. X plus 2x is 3x, minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4, and this is all less than 0. Next we're going to let y equal x squared plus 3x minus 4, and put y equal to 0. So we have x squared plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. We're going to factorize and solve. So we get x plus 4 times x minus 1. Then we let each of these equal to 0, so x plus 4 equals 0, so x is equal to minus 4. And x minus 1 is equal to 0, so x is equal to 1. So if we draw out an x and y axis, and we're going to draw ourselves a quadratic curve, a U-shaped curve, that crosses our x-axis at minus 4 and 1. And then we're going to use 0 as our test value. So we're going to substitute 0 into this equation, x squared plus 3x minus 4 is less than 0. So swapping each of those x's for 0 with brackets around it, we get 0 squared plus 3 times 0 minus 4 is less than 0. 0 squared will cancel, and 3 times 0 will cancel as well, leaving us with minus 4 less than 0, which is true. And as 0 is inside, so 0 would be here on our x-axis, 0 is on the inside of our curve, inside of our 2 points at which it crosses the x-axis. The solution, therefore, is inside. So the solution set is x is greater than minus 4, but less than 1. So this is our solution set. So 0 lies inside our two roots, which is minus 4 and 1. So 0 lies here, it's inside. And when we subbed 0 into our equation, we got minus 4 is less than 0, which is true. Therefore, our solution is inside. So our solution goes from minus 4 to 1. That is our solution set, from minus 4 to 1. So x value is greater than minus 4, but less than 1. Now, if this had been the other way around, if we'd gotten a statement that was false, and 0 was still inside our two roots, then our solution would actually have been outside. So it would have been anything that is greater than 1 and less than 4. So we just worked out the inequality 2x plus 3 divided by x minus 1 is less than 1. And we got our solution set to be x is greater than minus 4 but less than 1. In our example, if the inequality had actually been less than or equal to 1, then we would have obtained the quadratic inequality x squared plus 3x minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. And at first glance, the solution set of this would appear to be x is greater or equal to minus 4 and less than or equal to 1. However, we cannot include 1 in the solution set as this would involve dividing by 0. So the actual solution set of 2x plus 3 divided by x minus 1 is less than or equal to 1 is x is greater or equal to minus 4 but less than 1. So just be careful, this does not always happen, but it can. So since we had x minus 1 as the denominator, and if we had included 1 as x, it would have been 1 minus 1, which would have been 0, which we cannot do. We cannot divide anything by 0. So therefore, x must be greater than or equal to minus 4, but less than 1. 1 cannot be included in our solution set.